Hey, hi, I hope you guys are doing well. This is a little bit of an update as to where I've been, but honestly, it's more so a rant, so don't worry, just hang with me. Here are some quick announcements. Sorry I've been gone for so long. I went on vacation and then I got back, and then I'm trying to apply for an apartment out of state, and we got accepted. That's exciting, but the problem is that trying to get an apartment out of state is a massive hassle. And then all this extra stuff has been coming up that's really delayed the video editing process. I'm not going to get that much into it. Just know that I'm working on the video. Should be out soon. It's about funny rock climbing game. Haha, funny. That's basically everything announcement wise. Now, to the real rant. I feel like the age of hanging out with people is actively dying as we speak. And what I mean by that specifically is I try and make plans with people. Hell, I have friends that try and make plans with people, and those people commit to the plans all the way up until they actually have to hang out, and then they bail last minute. Either it's last minute cancellation, or it's that they just don't respond and leave people undelivered, which you know what, that's where we're gonna start, right? Text messaging. Text messaging is basically the core of how most people communicate right now, especially people my age in their mid-20s. And it honestly baffles my mind how long people can go without just looking at their text messages. Yes, you may be one of those people in the audience right now that feels a little shocked that I'm kind of calling you out. I'm sorry. I don't mean it in a mean way. I don't think you're lesser of a person, but just open your text messages. It's really not that hard. It's one thing if your friends are spamming you memes and you just don't want to deal with it. That happens a lot on Instagram DMs for me, and that's fine. You know, I love the memes, I love seeing them, but also it gets overwhelming when there's a million of them. Text messages, on the other hand, are much more difficult to ignore usually because they're built into most iOS systems and really just any system in general. And what's frustrating to me is that, yes, it can get overwhelming if they stack up, don't get me wrong. A lot of people have 200 plus text messages, which is crazy to me. I don't know how it can get that bad. And I sympathize with you a little bit if you struggle just wanting to tackle that task because it's so out of control. But I would argue that most people actually don't have that many text messages and are simply just not answering. And even if you have a ton of text messages, you not answering them and not committing to plans is literally part of the problem, and I feel like there's not that much of an excuse. For me, I am insanely busy right now. I have so much going on. I'm trying to get this apartment stuff figured out, and then I've been taking all these side jobs to make some money before I move out, and it's just a whole hassle and there's a lot going on in my life. However, when a friend reaches out and texts me and says, hey, we should go get coffee, or hey, we should do this, or hey, I'm in town, let's hang out, I respond within an hour at most. There literally is no point to leave people undelivered unless you just don't care, which is fair. Some people you can leave undelivered, and that's fine. You have your motives, and I'm not going to judge you on that. But people who actively want to hang out with you, and God forbid you actually answer their text, make plans, and then stop responding? Why? What is the point? We are getting into an age now where a lot of people are feeling lonelier than ever. Really, I would blame technology, but also social implications as well. At this point, it has become the norm where when someone sends you a message to hang out, you get a little bit anxious not wanting to respond. And I don't quite understand it. I still feel it. I feel a little anxious when someone reaches out and is like, hey, we can hang out. And I'm like, oh gosh. It's now I got a plan, and I gotta commit to the plans. But here's the difference is that I actually do it. I actually just go through with it. I have social anxiety. I know a lot of people that have social anxiety, and I'm not trying to diss people who have that sort of thing. It's difficult, and some people, it is legitimately debilitating to have that level of anxiety when someone reaches out. But I would argue for the vast majority of people, it's just that we can get away with laziness now more than ever. Literally, there's no consequences. And I feel like back in the days of old with pagers and stuff like that, you couldn't really get away with it as easily. Now, to be fair, I wasn't alive during that time, but you get my point. It's so frustrating. And everyone's hanging out online these days. I mean, I have a friend group that I hang out with on Discord basically every night. It's literally how me and my little sister stay connected, even though we're 4 years apart, and I'm about to be a couple states away from her. We just play games all the time together, and we have a good friend group, and we have a good time. That's fine. And honestly, canceling plans online really isn't as big of a deal in my opinion. But in person, In person means that you got over that kind of social anxiety that I bet a lot of people face right now. It means you went over the hump, you responded to the text message, you started beginning plans, and then you just bailed. Why is that okay? When has that ever been okay? As a kid, if I canceled on plans last minute, usually it was fine, but I had to tell them that I was canceling. I couldn't just leave them undelivered. And I don't understand. It's literally a lack of accountability on most people's part. I can't tell you how many times in my whole college career that I tried hanging out with people and they would just leave me undelivered and bail. It's so frustrating, and it's not fair to anybody. If you value your friends, you should have no problem just communicating with them. It's not that hard, guys. It really isn't. And I'm really just sending this rant out into the ether. I know that most people watching this video literally have nothing to do with this problem, and that's totally fine. You honestly can go do your own thing. But the age of hanging out is literally going away. Nobody just hangs out anymore. You have to make deliberate plans, you have to commit to those plans, and most people get so overwhelmed by that, which really isn't that big of a deal, that they just bail. And I don't understand it. It's so frustrating. I kid you not, there have been people in my own life who we were supposed to make plans, and then they did the classic left undelivered thing and just stopped texting. And I was pretty petty about it. I just stopped responding. I literally just stopped sending text messages because it was like a recurring issue. And I was like, you know what? If you don't have time to respond to my messages and try and plan things, I'm just gonna stop communicating with you until like you figure it out. And I know that's petty, and I know that's kind of hypocritical to say because I'm actively not communicating as a choice, and that's what I'm complaining about. But just let me be petty, okay? I like complaining about things. If you couldn't tell already 7 minutes into this video. When I did that, when I just stopped responding to these people, they literally just never messaged me for sometimes years on end. And honestly, I had no problem with it. I didn't really miss their company that much because I felt like I was just talking to myself most of the time trying to make plans. And I know that sounds shitty, and I hope those people aren't watching this video and know who I am, but also, like, you know, communication is important, and if this is communication, then there you go. I'm frustrated with the fact that some people just can't respond to text messages. If you have a valid excuse, I think I just hit my mic, that's fine. If you have a valid excuse, just tell me. Literally just tell me. I'm not gonna hold it against you. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're not feeling well, or if you accidentally scheduled something else or whatever, that's fine. But at least say something. People who don't say anything, I swear, it's just like the lowest level of just not caring. And those are often the people that wonder why nobody will hang out. And it's so frustrating. Something that has been on my mind a lot, and as I'm moving out of state, something that I'm going to be focusing on even more, is the availability of what is called a third space. So for most people, including myself, we have two places primarily. We have our home and then our work. And especially in America, that's just the only two things you have. And sometimes you go to the grocery store and you have to dodge these Karens left and right trying to like get around you and bumping their cart into you. And oh man, that's a whole nother story, man. Don't even get me started. But I want what's called a third space. And most people really like this, where you have a third place that you just hang out. Literally just hang out. You don't even have to do anything. And that is so much healthier. So for instance, let's say that you primarily go to school. You're in university, right? So school is basically your life, and then let's say you have an apartment somewhere, so that's your home. Most of the time, you're going to be spending really your whole life and college career in two places, your apartment or at university in class. But it is so important, just add a third space, like go do your homework at a cafe or go hang out in a park and hammock, something like that, and like read somewhere, whatever. For me, this semester, I just hung out in the university library. And even though it was on campus and still part of school, it was a third space. I wasn't in a class actively. And it was very helpful for my mental health. And honestly, for my workflow. I literally felt like I could pump out video essays in this library carefree because I was just in a different new space. And that was nice. I mean, shout out, CSU has a really nice library, so thank you. They have really comfy chairs in there. Anyway, besides the point, let's get back on track here. Hanging out in a third space especially is basically going away. Most things you can do at home now. I mean, heck, I work from home. So really, I only have one space if I'm not in school. It's just home. I go to sleep, I wake up, I work in front of my computer all day, and that's it. Maybe I'll go outside and read for a little in my backyard. I do appreciate doing that, but in Colorado, we get these summer storms in the afternoon where it just dumps rain out of nowhere. Literally, I live close to the foothills, so it just drops down buckets of water for like 20 minutes and then it's gone. But then everything's soaked, and then I don't want to be outside anymore, and maybe I'm just lazy. Anyway, do yourself the favor and just find a third space in your life, and I guarantee it will help. Literally just go to a coffee shop once every couple days. You don't even have to buy anything. Coffee shops are really good about loitering. Like, I don't think I've ever been kicked out of a coffee shop for loitering. Or like a library or a park. Somewhere nearby that's nice. I mean, even if it's your backyard at your house, or if you're in an apartment complex, go hang out in a conference room, or like just something, it helps so much. Because you're not doing the same monotonous thing all day, every day. For example, actually, here's a good one. Over in Europe, third spaces are like the norm there. It was so nice. I understand why people in Europe are just generally happier than Americans, I feel like. God fucking damn it, where's that stupid ass music disc? Fuck. Now, to be fair, I don't live in Europe, but besides the point, I went to Spain on a school trip over spring break, and it was awesome because one of the main things I noticed was tapas, right? Food and beer, like just snacks and beer. And all of these people in Spain will just hang out at these bars, eat food, drink before they have to go home. So basically they wake up, they go to work, and then after work, they go and get tapas, and then they go home. And that third space, I swear to God, is the key to happiness. Because they're just hanging out at the bar with their friends. They're just chilling. And there are so many businesses that literally make their entire living off of that. Whereas in America, nobody really sits down to just enjoy something for what it is. When you're getting food, usually you're in a drive-thru, or you're sitting down for an hour to catch up with friends if they respond to your goddamn text messages. And that's about it. Then you just get your food, put it in a box with your way just over the top portions, take it home, and then you eat it for leftovers the next day. And that's just what it is. And to be fair, costs of food in the US is way higher than most other places in the world. Like, it is very expensive for me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go hang out at the bar with my buddies every night after work. I'm literally gonna be spending all of my money on just shitty beer. But the vibe of a third space, the feeling, just being somewhere with your friends and just hanging out is such a good feeling. And I used to do it so much as a kid, and it's something that you lose as you get more of an adult-like life. You know, the other day, I was thinking a lot about Pokemon Go and how nostalgic I am for it and how I might want to re-download it just to play it with my girlfriend and hang out, especially when we move out of state and need to go into nature and explore and do different things, find our third space outside of our apartment. And I swear, man, like just thinking about those days in 2016 when that game came out and riding my bike all around town with my friends, going to Pokestops, you know, doing gang warfare in the suburbs at Poke Gyms and all that, like that was so fun. And I really miss that because you just hung out with your friends. Like the goal was to just play Pokemon and collect Rattatas everywhere. And that was it. Like, that's just all we did. Like, there was no complication to it. We didn't have to text and plan things days in advance. We just texted each other and were like, hey, let's go. And we're like, all right.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And to be fair, you know, we got way more busy. I mean, we didn't have jobs back then. We just did this for fun. So now, like, all of us have jobs and we've got lives and we've got family to see and we've got, heck, some of my friends are married. That's insane. And it's like, yes, people are building their lives and we're going to get more busy, but being an adult doesn't mean that you can lose spontaneity and also just, you know, hanging out. Like, being an adult doesn't mean that you can't have your buddies over for split screen zombies again. You know, you may have to plan it a little bit ahead of time, but like, as long as they respond to your text messages, it's not that hard to set up. And it's so frustrating to me, guys. I'm literally just screaming at my monitor right now about something that honestly is not that big of a deal at the end of the day, but I just want so bad for people to just hang out again. I miss it. It's what got me through the first year or two of college was I found a group of friends that we just go over to their apartment and hang out. We had no plan. We were like, you know what? Let's watch a movie and just hang. And that's nice. That feels good. People need to do that more. Over the years, it's just become less and less frequent. Nobody has watch parties at their place anymore. Nobody watches shows as they come out. Everyone just binges them on their own. I love the feeling of when a show comes out, even if it comes out immediately at once, every week you try and schedule something with your friends to watch it. And the beauty of the internet is you can do that online. I can do it on Discord. I have movie nights over on my Discord server and I love them because I can just chat with my homies and watch a movie and just enjoy my time together with them. And that's nice. That is something that technology has brought that is great. But it is so frustrating how also that tech has been used as a crutch to just avoid social consequences. Jesus. Dude, my voice is getting so tired already. Oh my god. Look, I don't want this video to get too long, and also my AC just turned on, so I gotta edit out that background noise, and that's gonna be a pain in the ass. So, here's what I'm gonna leave you with. I am getting ready to go through one of the biggest changes in my entire life. I am literally going to move a couple thousand miles away from the place that I've called home for pretty much my entire life. All of my friends that I made here, the family memories I have here, my dogs, all of that is going away. I am going to be very, very far away from all of that. And honestly, I cannot wait for when I get set up in my new home and my new place and I start going on my new adventures. I cannot wait for the people that reach out to me that be like, oh, we should have hung out. And I'd be like, wow, man, that is a great idea. We could have done that so much more if you just responded to my text messages. And it's gonna feel great. Like, straight up. I know that sounds really narcissistic to say, but sometimes, you know, the like, I told you so feeling, that's gonna feel really, really good. Literally, as I'm recording this, I know I just said I was gonna get ready to go, but as I'm recording this, one of my friends was supposed to hang out with another friend, and that friend is doing the same thing I was talking about. They've been leaving them undelivered constantly and all that, and they're like, oh, I forgot about our plans, sorry. And then, here's the worst part, is that they've been posting on social media during the entire time they've been leaving them undelivered. Oh my god, it's not hard. It's not hard. If you have the time to scroll through Instagram or post a picture of your cat on Snapchat, literally just respond. It's not hard. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm so frustrated for my friends who are being treated this way, for myself who's being treated this way, and anybody watching this that is being treated the exact same way. And honestly, I think people just need to confront people a little bit more about this. Some people may not even be aware, and that's fine. You know, like, everyone should be forgiven. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone gets overwhelmed, and that's fine. But literally just sending a text and be like, yo, you're not responding. Are we hanging out or not? Like, most people shouldn't take that personally and just be like, oh, sorry, I got caught up in stuff. Yeah, we're good. That's all it takes. Just confront the problem, and I think it would be fine. Communication is key. So yeah, I'm getting ready to move. Things are insane. New video will be out at some point. I'm hoping early next week on Monday. I don't know when this is going to be posted. Hopefully today. It's July 22nd, so Tuesday, but so hopefully a week or so is when the next video is going to come out. But yeah, so this is a fun little rant. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you are taking care of yourselves. Please leave your comments and thoughts down below if you have the time. I'd love to hear, maybe I'm just insane. Maybe I'm being too narcissistic, and that's fine. Call me out. I don't care. Like, let's talk about it. So, alright. Enough screaming into the ether. I'm gonna go play, I don't know, Minecraft or something and just, forget that I have responsibilities. Okay, bye y'all.